Hello everybody, I'm Lizzie Mack. Welcome to my channel. This is my very first episode of anything going up on my channel, though I do have a lot of plans for what I want to do. And in this video, you're going to be seeing me make a sim I've called Garnet Jewel. You can see in the video there, her name is still Garnet Gemstone. I ended up changing it because I thought Gemstone was kind of a goofy last name. But anyway, so I'm going to be making her specifically for the Birthstone Legacy Challenge, which is why I named her Garnet, because that is the first generation of this challenge, and each one is based on a different gemstone. So there's 12 generations for 12 months. These are traditional birthstones for all the different months. They may be different in other countries. I think these are based in the US. But anyway, so I decided this challenge seemed really exciting. I like the idea of doing legacies, but I wasn't crazy about some of the scorekeeping, some of the rules that I've tried in legacies in the past. And this one seemed really interesting. And one of the things that it does is it takes advantage of some of the things like in the different packs, like the first generation Garnet, your aspiration has to be Jungle Explorer. So you have to use the Jungle Adventures pack. And I actually just bought this pack yesterday. I don't know anything about it. I've never watched a video about it. I may fail miserably at it, and I'll probably learn a lot as I go because I don't really know what I'm going to be doing, but that's okay, So anyway, one of the reasons that you'll see as I start to pick her clothes and things like that, right now I'm just messing with her face a little bit, but you'll see that I start to pick clothes in the dark red color. That's because one of the rules is that you're supposed to make the dress code match the color of the generation. So for generation 1, Garnet, her color is maroon and dark red. And I tell you, as I get to picking the clothes, it was really hard to find a lot of dark red clothes that the reds matched. That kind of drove me crazy. But I want to go over the rules a little bit, and because I won't really talk about this when I actually start the gameplay. I thought this would be a good opportunity as I introduce you to Garnet. And to show you, to tell you a little bit about the rules and how all of that'll work. So, like most legacies, you're not supposed to use cheats, money, skill, relationship, or anything like that. I mean, I do have, what is it called? MCCC installed, but I've been using that in my regular gameplay to help reset sims and to help with some of the bugs. I will not be using it to give me any advantage in this, but I do have it installed. It says you can play on the lifespan of your choosing. I like to play on a long lifespan, and then age my sims up when I want to. So I probably will do that. It says in the rules here that you can't age up children and teens until they have an A in school. So I'll probably follow that. I'll wait until they have an A in school, that they've accomplished the things I want to accomplish, and then I'll age them up using a cake. And in this legacy challenge, the youngest of each generation is the heir for the next generation. I think there may be a slight alteration to that for the vampire generation, which I'll get to in a second. Anyway, so the youngest is the heir, it's unlike other legacies where you get to choose which one's the heir by other criteria. This one you have to pick the youngest. And each generation has to dress according to the color, which is why I've got Garnet here. Well, I haven't started picking her clothes yet, but why she's wearing all dark red. Now, heirs can marry a male or female sim. I will probably mix that up a little bit because that's my personal preference. That's how I am in real life, and that's how I like to play the sim. So I don't know if Garnet is going to go for a male or a female sim. We'll just have to see who she meets. But it says adoption is okay for same-sex couples that cannot reproduce on their own. Whenever I've played same-sex couples in the past, I've always just modified one of them so that they can get pregnant. And I'll probably do that. I like carrying on the genetics. I think that adoption can be fun. I've done that as well. But I kind of like in The Sims, the genetics thing is kind of cool. So I probably will do that. But we'll see how it goes. We'll kind of meet each person as they come along, each sim, and see what feels right at the time. It does say spouses can have jobs, any job that we want. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'd like to kind of experiment with some of the jobs that I've not really played too much in The Sims, but since we can do anything, I'll just wait and see what each sim is like. I really like to get a feel for their personalities, their aspirations, and things like that, and then choose accordingly. As I said, children and teens have to have an A in school before they can be aged up. And the third trait on each generation is up to the player to decide. So you already saw me pick her traits. Her aspiration has to be Jungle Explorer for Generation 1. Her traits have to be Love Outdoors and Loner. And then the third one was up to me to choose. And I think I chose Cheerful because it's just a lot easier to deal with a happy sim. Because she has no career allowed. So that means she's going to be living off the land a little bit in the beginning. And that's actually going to make it a little bit difficult at times. It may be difficult to get to the El Salvadorado place because it's a vacation lot. Now, I know there are ways that you can make a vacation lot livable. I didn't want to mess with that. I wasn't sure if that would be cheating, so I didn't do it. So we're just going to have to, as soon as she has a little bit of money, then, we'll spend that money to get there so we can start to work on her aspiration. Now, you do start with 20,000. There's nothing in here that says you have to start with 0 like some legacies. So I've already built her a house, and I may show the building of that house. I'm actually really proud of it. I actually think it's a really cute little house. But I spent almost all of her money on it. I think she has like 300 simoleons left, which might not have been the wisest choice. I might have been better off to build her something a little plainer. And then, especially because she's not going to have a job and there's going to be bills associated with this house. So, may end up selling some decor in order to pay her bills. But we'll see how that goes. And so the rule of the other 3 rules for Generation 1 is she has to marry a Salvadorian, and must complete 3 rare relics. I have no idea how to do this. Like I said, I have never played Jungle Adventure, so we'll see how this goes. And she has to max out the archaeology skill. So we'll see, like I said, we'll see how this goes. We'll see. Obviously, I think everything's going to be a little bit easier once she gets a spouse, but, I'm not sure. So I won't go over all the details for all of the generations right now. I'll probably do that a little bit more when we get to them. But Generation 2 is Amethyst. They have their own aspirations, traits, and careers. They have to be a politician. And this one is focused on clubs. Aquamarine is Generation 3. They're Friend of the Animals. So this one focuses on the pets pack. And they want to own a vet clinic. Generation 4 is Diamond. So they want to be a tech guru or a stylist. And they must become a global superstar. So this one is focused on the Get Famous pack. Generation 5 is Emerald. They want to be a super parent. So I think this one has to be, they have to have at least 5 children. Any career is allowed until their first child, and then they're a stay-at-home parent. And so this one is focused on parenthood. Generation 6 is Pearl. And this is the vampire one. They must not marry a vampire. They have to become a master vampire. The vampire pack is also one that I have never played before. I don't know anything about it. Vampires were just never really my thing. I actually thought about replacing this with the Island Living because I also just got Island Living pack. I went a little crazy. Please don't judge me. I had to do it. So anyway, but the vampire, I'm probably going to try to do it because I'd like to do something I've never done before. So that's what that one is based on. And well, we're just going to have to see how that goes. Generation 7 is Ruby. This one is the color red. So she's going to be, this one, he or she, is going to be red again. But I'll try to go for more of the bright reds. But it really wasn't a lot of choice. So I may end up getting some custom content so that they can have a little bit more choice in what they wear. And this one is social media career. And they have to have 3 good friends. You have to marry your BFF. So I'm not sure if this is pack specific, but it seems to be all about making friends in this generation. And Generation 8 is Peridot, bodybuilder, self-absorbed, career athlete. So this one looks like it's all focused on that. Sounds kind of easy. But, I think after some of these others, I'll be happy to do something easy. And we'll see how easy it is when we actually play through it. So Generation 9 is Sapphire. And this is a career criminal, mischief, things like that. Generation 10 is Opal. This one is about you're a foodie, goofball. You have to own a restaurant or a bakery with your spouse. This one you have to max cooking and baking, and you can only marry once, and you find your partner as a young adult. Generation 11 is Topaz. You'd be a scientist. So this brings in stuff from the Get to Work pack. And you have to complete the element collection. Now, I don't know if you can start this earlier because I tend to find a lot of elements when I scrounge, but I really only am probably going to scrounge with Garnet because she's going to be poor. I imagine by the time I get 11 generations, we'll have some money going. So anyway, this one's focused on knowledge and it uses the Get to Work pack. And then the final one is Turquoise, where you get to be a serial romantic. You're romantic, you're non-committal, and you want to be a bartender. Well, yeah, the culinary mixologist track. So you have to remarry, and you marry and divorce 3 times, and then remarry and stay with your first spouse as an elder. So there's a lot of details in here that I'll go over as each generation kind of comes to be. But this is kind of the long and the short of it. This is a wonderful sounding challenge made by Hip Hip Renee and PWY Real. I think that stands for Plays with Yarn because I saw her on her YouTube channel. So, but that I'll put a link to both of them on Twitter and to the rules for this if you want to see it for yourself. Because I've actually, you might be able to hear the paper shuffling because I've got it pretty close to my microphone. But I'm going to be going through the rules as they come up rather than trying to read you 5 pages of text in all the details right now, because you probably won't remember them by the time that we get to the next, by the time we get 12 generations down, assuming I don't fail miserably by then, which could happen. But I know that sometimes on these challenges, if you fail, people just quit. I don't really want to do that. I kind of want to, if I fail, we'll see what happens. Okay. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm actually really excited to start. You don't know anything about me because, like I said, this is my first episode of my first series of my first everything on YouTube. I have done YouTube before. I used to do a Minecraft channel and really enjoyed that, but I wanted to move on to something else. I haven't actually played Minecraft in a couple years very well. I pick it up every once in a while. I play for like a month and then I stop. And then I don't pick it up again for another 6 months. That's kind of how it goes with Minecraft. But I've gotten back into The Sims. I actually have played The Sims since Sims 1. Gives you a little clue how old I am. And but Sims 2 was the one I was super into. I did Machinima. I loved the game. I was super, super into it, almost to the point of being obsessed with it. And then I just kind of skipped Sims 3 altogether. So I've gotten back into Sims 4 recently, really loving it, really wanting to get back into challenges because I tend to play The Sims the same way all the time. And, that's kind of a shame. So I want to use challenges and various setups like this really to give me an opportunity to step outside of my comfort zone and play in a different way and explore some of these things I've never done. And so I'm actually really excited about that. This challenge in particular, I think the reason I chose it was because it highlights some of the specific packs. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so you see I'm getting ready to pick a season and place Garnet on her lot. So I will show that next time when I actually start to play. So thank you so much for watching this far, and I will see you next time where I may, like I said, I may put my house building up, I may not, but if I do, it'll be just like a speed build, something like this. But I'm kind of inclined to just show you the house when I actually start the game. And then if anybody wants to see how I built it, then I can do that. So the next episode is going to be Garnet in her new house. So I will see you next time. Be sure and like and subscribe if you want to see the rest of this series. And give me a little thumbs up. This is my first episode of my first thing on this channel. So if you give me a little thumbs up and leave a comment, that will let me know that somebody out there is watching, and I would really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Bye.